happens and over simple things.
And we're still waiting for police to release the name and age of the person who was killed in that incident
Yo,
today.
deport
And we
him.
hope to have some updates for you coming.
We need to deport that guy right now, man, for saying some stupid shit like that.
Telling you. St. Louis police are releasing pictures of two women wanted in connection with the shooting that left two innocent bystanders hurt, including a 13-year-old boy.
Fox 2's Chris Renier live downtown at police headquarters with the latest from investigators. Chris.
Marjorie, Ty, good morning to both of you. Authorities telling us that these two women should be considered armed and dangerous. The actual shooting happened last week during an argument in the old North St. Louis neighborhood. Police also releasing images of two vehicles that they say were also involved in that incident. Let's first show you pictures of the two suspects who police are looking for this morning. They are identified as 23-year-old Deja Johnson and 25-year-old Grabiel Williams. Authorities have not yet revealed specifics on the potential.
Grabiel?
Right. Well, that's a twist.
Potential charges that the two women could be facing, but no doubt they will be serious. Here is a look at images of the vehicles that police say were also involved with that shooting. One is a silver GMC pickup truck, and the other appears to be a dark-colored Nissan Altima. Police telling us the GMC has a Missouri license plate of 0YJJ42. And we can also show you video from the scene of the original shooting. It happened about 4:45 in the afternoon of May 27th at North 20th Street and North Florissant Avenue in North St. Louis. Police tell us a group of females were arguing when gunshots rang out among that group. Investigators say a 30-year-old woman who was just walking her dog and was not involved in the dispute was hit in the leg by gunfire, and a 13-year-old boy who was just getting out of a car nearby was struck in his abdomen. Both victims survived, but the boy was originally listed in critical but stable condition. Police say if you see either Johnson or Williams, you should call Crime Stoppers or 911 right away. That Crime Stoppers.
Jeez. I mean, just different. Like, just different. Not the same species. Not the same species, man.
Yeah. It's like trying to compare, like, the behavior of a Labrador to maybe, like, a pit bull. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, they're both dogs, but they behave differently, though. To whatever degree that they behave.
St. John Parish crime cameras captured the moments.
Yeah, like it you know, like the things that happen in Black America, the frequency which they happen, the fact that they happen everywhere they're at, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, so it's like
the intensity of it.
If a teen is killed like after graduation, it's not like that's the story for the Black community. Each city a teen gets killed after graduation.
A couple
teens. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like but white Americans.
Yeah, but for the gliders, it's like if one teen dies somewhere, that's a big deal. So yeah, they're different. For sure, you know. And maybe it's not a lab and a pit bull. Maybe it's like a lab and a coyote. You know what I mean? Or like a Labrador and a wolf.
I think that's more of the speed, because even though they're both canines, you know, you got one that's a lot more evolutionary.
One's more wild. You know what I mean?
Hold it down.
Yeah, you got one that's just straight from the wild that travels in packs,
right.
And then you got the other one that's went through multi-generations of
of breeding from humans.
Yeah.
Like a lab you could have as a pet, right? But a wolf, you probably shouldn't have a wolf as a pet, you know?
No, you shouldn't have it. You shouldn't have it around your house, you know, because a wolf is going to
eventually
eat your children and then eat you.
Yeah, eventually its instinct might
Mhm.
come out of it,
Yeah,
right?
and then look at you like what the fuck what you expect? I'm a wolf,
Right.
nigga.
Right.
Go
Like you
bring bring the rest of your family.
think about it. Think about what you just said though. Like you can't get mad at the hyena for
Mm-mm.
acting out how it acts. Like
Yeah, I
it's what it
know.
does,
But yeah, I know. Learn to identify the damn hyena. Learn
man.
how to identify the wolf.
You know what,
Yeah.
man?
I
In this bubble here, bro, it's
uh
incredible how glaring the differences are.
oh
Even
it's
outside of
so
here, it is. Even outside of this
mhm.
bubble, it's glaring.
Yeah.
Here, it's like magnified. I don't know.
Hey,
I don't know
hey,
how.
Wicked. Let me tell you something. So I was at my job the other day, right? And I work with a few officers. I work with a few cops, but
Okay.
they're on duty, but they're off duty. And and I get along with everybody. 75%, maybe I'll say about 70%. They are liberal people. And so I started talking about the riots. I was talking about the riots in Cali and I asked him, which one do you think is worse? You think the California riots or the January 6th? About 4 or 5 people. January
Yeah.
6th, January 6th, January 6th.
And
And I'm
these
just
are like cops, right?
I'm talking about a cop in particular. Like other people were
Okay.
workers, but this guy's a cop.
And he was saying
And
January 6th.
he said January 6th. So I
But
said,
he was a sun
what?
man though, right?
Look, yeah, he is a son man. And I said, why January 6th? He said, because officers died that day. And I said,
Mm.
wait, officers died on January? And he just blew up, went full sun on me.
Damn.
And he's like, I love you, but and he was trying to get practically everybody in the room to take his side or whatever. The dude,
Yeah.
he's probably in his mid 50s, right? But he's a country boy, ladies man. He's kind of like the loudest person in the room, but a good guy, good spirit.
Yeah.
But he's liberal. He's vote blue no matter who type. And so
Wow.
whenever I said that, he didn't even give me. So I started reading. I just went to Chat GPT and I started reading online. And when I'm reading, he's all running around pissed off. He left the room, and everybody sees it. Everybody saw how he acted. And then as I'm reading, about January 6th, then
Yeah.
I'm thinking to myself, why the hell do we have so many police officers that committed suicide after January 6th?
Damn.
Because
Yeah.
I'm reading about it. But like that's just how far the Sun Man is to
Yeah.
having just basic roundtable conversation.
Mm.
It's far. And I've seen him a few times. I'm not gonna sit here and act like he hasn't apologized or anything, but I've seen him, saying all good terms or whatever. I haven't thrown it back in his face about how he acted, but I'll keep it in my pocket, just kind of let him know, but not now, but it's gonna be later
Yeah.
because
So when he blew up on you, what
uh
exactly was he like
ba-
going off about? Like I get you said
okay.
the
Well,
suicides.
well, all right. He's no, no, no. He was already he didn't. By the time I started reading Chat GPT, he wasn't even trying to hear me anymore. He
Yeah.
just. It's like there was something in his brain that triggered where
Yeah.
where where he's all of a sudden talking about Donald Trump. Because I wanted to talk a little bit about the riot. I wanted to kind of draw it out a little bit, talking about what's going on with the riots, talk about what's going on January 6th, talk about what's the proper thing to do for both. And their excuse, because remember I'm talking to all liberals, their excuse is well, Donald Trump he's sending in the National Guard now. How come he didn't do it January 6th? I'm like, I thought everybody was saying that he did, and Nancy Pelosi turned it down or said ruled against it or something like that. And he was like, oh well, he was still the president, he could have done it, but he wants to do it over here in California. And I'm like, whatever. I'm dealing with We're dealing with, the Trump derangement syndrome. I mean, it's real. It doesn't really
You know,
matter.
but it's odd. It's odd everything you're saying because again, let's be objective. At least from what I see, right? The
Mhm.
Democrats, the vote blue no matter who. Kamala Harris and Joe Biden were terrible for cops, right? They were actively against, like, there were moments where they were actively against law enforcement, right? And
Yeah.
in the same breath, you have Trump and the Republicans
Mhm.
who were very pro police. They talk
Yeah,
about death
But Donald Trump is a racist though. Central
right?
Park 5, Wicked.
Yeah,
Central Park 5.
yeah, wow,
So we're not dealing with rational people.
yeah,
There's this barrier that they can't break. And I hate to say it's as easy and simple as mind control, but this guy right here that just went completely unhinged, that's not
right,
the only person that's happened to with me, and he rode with me today. So I was with him today, and because he volunteered to go where I went. So I'm telling, so yeah, since I have him in the car, and now he's basically, I can't remember what we were talking about, but now he's on a trip of saying these YNs are the problem, and this is like 2 days after his blow up or whatever.
yeah,
So he's like, the YNs are the problem, blah 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 blah. So I'm like, yeah, I'm kind of like not really talking much about it, but
you don't want
then
to upset
shit,
him, right?
then I had to go ahead and bring up Ox panel and talking about the lynching.
Wait, so he knows
And
about Ike?
no, I told him
Oh,
about
okay, damn.
I told him about and I
Oh,
told
you
him
did
about
tell
the
him about Ike.
lynching. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I told, because he's talking about YNs being a problem. I got, so I'm like, I'm about to bring this up because it's fresh on my mind. We just
Right.
talked about it, so I started talking about the lynchings from I started talking about the white on black lynching. And I was saying that there was a whole section in the newspaper, and he was like, they wrote about it in the newspaper. I'm like, of course they did. People get dead on the side of the street. People want to know who it is. They gotta phone
Yeah.
out to the family or whatever.
It's like
They're gonna
today.
read it.
It's kind of
Yeah,
like
yeah, yeah.
today.
But he hasn't thought that far ahead or whatever. And I'm like, and so I'm telling them that there was a whole section of white on black lynchings, and then there was a whole section of black on black lynchings. And I said there was also a section on white. But I was like, what was odd enough was that the things that the white people were lynching black people for, black people were lynching black people for the same exact things. I'm talking about they would show up 500 deep, and it's just good to be a sheriff and a deputy, and they're literally trying to hold these people off. And then they can't hold them off anymore. They take them, and they will throw them inside a burning building, and that's the lynching. He's like, "What? No, lynching is on trees." I'm like, "No, that's not how it
Mm,
works. That's not how it
right.
works." So I'm like straight up educating them or whatever, and then I'm starting to tell them about the black people, and I'm telling them, "Look, the black people, they lynched blacks for practically the same reason. You would have you would have some black dude that done molested three separate 3-year-olds,
Damn.
in a town. They go and go after them. I was like, but here's the part that really tripped me out, and I had to let them know. I said there were multiple instances where black people would lynch other blacks because they voted Democrat, which was
Really? I didn't
true.
hear. Wow. Wow.
Ak read him. There was at least two.
Because they
One
were a
was rarely
Democrat?
brutal. Yeah, because he voted.
Yeah,
They
yeah.
found out he voted
What the
Democrat.
fuck?
Yeah,
They lynched a man and his wife too.
Because they were a
yeah,
Democrat.
because they
Yeah,
voted Democrat. I had to let them know. And then I was saying, at first we're thinking, well, this is like, I'm like, we're thinking maybe this is like the 1920s. Maybe they were like promised. Maybe they were promised lavish jobs, lavish homes. This wasn't 1920. This wasn't 1930. This is 1892.
Think
I
about
said,
that. Think
I said,
about that shit right
I was
there.
like, what the hell is he doing?
Right.
voted for white people to take back over.
Wow.
Did he have a point?
Yo, that Lyndon Johnson, whatever the fuck they call it, brilliant. How they brought the sons into the Democrat Party Act.
Yeah, definitely.
You know, hey,
Let me,
you know,
let me
hey,
just,
oh, good, my bad. Go.
what?
Oh no, hey, I was gonna ask, have you ever listened to Judge Joe Brown?
Yeah,
Like,
I listened to him all the time.
okay.
Yeah.
So, you know, there was this one point where Candace Owens and a few other people, they pretty much made the accusation that um, Lyndon B. Johnson is Juice Crew. And, you know, a lot of people got upset with it. And then I think there's a little bit more information out on it, and I'm
I
still
don't
not for
believe. I
certain.
don't believe he's just a
Yeah,
Southerner. I don't believe. I
yeah,
don't believe.
but look, let me tell you how what Lyndon B. Johnson did, because he used to be a teacher wherever he was before he ran for governor. He was a teacher, and he worked with and predominantly, and this is a story according to Judge Joe Brown, and he worked with predominantly black kids, black students. So one day he was just like, you know what, I'm about to run for office. So he rounded up as many black kids as possible, and he took them all and got them registered to vote and voted for him, and that's how he got in office.
Mm. But you know,
I
but you
mean,
know what?
that kind of sounds very Juice Crew like. I'm just saying.
But let's be honest though. The Republicans don't. They never did themselves any favors with the POCs either though. Like their strategy was never. It just felt like they were like indifferent to POC. Do you know what I mean? Like, well, the Democrats were
Well, I
very
mean, if you talking about free stuff, I mean,
right.
they're not.
They,
Yeah,
they were always talking shit about shit like that, free shit. For
yeah,
example, among other things, they're very pro law. If I'm not mistaken, they're very pro like law, right?
yeah,
Which
yeah.
might lose you a
Exactly.
couple of votes. But really quick though,
Exactly.
if you don't mind, because TR was his story is pretty interesting. If you could just what did the brother say to you when you told him about the Democratic lynchings?
Okay, so when I told him about that, because you know I explained to him that when we were on the panel, we kind of were thinking that it was later in the years, like closer to civil rights era. We were thinking that it was like the 1940s. We're like, nah, this was in the 1890s. And he was like, what? That's crazy. That's crazy. I was like, man, think about that. They lynched us. I was like at first, and then I was telling him, you know, at first I felt bad for the guy. Then I'm thinking to myself, why the hell are you voting for Democrat in the 1890s? I was like, and this is him. Remember, he just blew up on me because somehow, some way, you know, me saying that LA riots are worse than January 6th is, you know, white racist. I'm supporting white supremacy or whatever. He made the suggestion that, well, he was like, well, you know, during he didn't use Reconstruction, but he said, you know, during after slavery, you know, blacks was in control and it was like the Wild Wild West. I'm like, I mean, yeah, I know. So, you know, and that's pretty
Yeah,
much how the story ended. But
yeah.
yeah,
Look at these
anytime I get a
niggas,
chance,
man.
I'm plugging it.
Look at these niggas in the street, man.
The concrete jungle.
Yeah, it's just a damn shame that we act like this.
It
St.
looks
John
nice.
Parish crime
Look
cameras
around. It looks
captured the
nice.
moments before a fight on 3rd Street in Reserve got deadly.
The blue pants is going to be the deceased victim, Talik.
Oh shit!
He's losing.
Man,
Police say 18-year-old Jaden Williams shot and killed
Jesus, that's one ugly motherfucker. God damn, they look like a black bird, man. Ugly as shit, man.
17-year-old Tyleek Jackson Thursday night around 8 p.m.
The winner
Sheriff
of the
Mike
fight?
Trigg says the crime started as an altercation over a girl, but quickly escalated.
So Jaden loses his shirt and he's running. No,